Welcome back to part 2. So we're going to concentrate on soldering here. So I'll go through a few little products. Now, flux. Some people like the model fluxes. Some people like the some other fluxes. Myself, I use this power flux. It's what your plumber would use. I mean, jar of that. Well, I do plumbing as well, but that will last you a lifetime. One word of a caution: this stuff is abrasive. It's powerful. If you leave it on for a period of time, it will put your brass green. Okay, so clean it off. But we will be covering that in a later video. Solder. We could use that if we wanted to. Problem, it's going to be a frigging nightmare afterwards and clean up. So we're not going to use that. I'll put that to one side. We're going to use this stuff. It's called solder paste. Don't know. Hang on, let's try and get it there. You can see on the end what it is. I know they say it's in resin. It's an infused paste of like solder and everything. Now the syringe broke, so I just use a bolt to push it out. And it comes with a little cap. Comes in like a little bag with one of those beady things in to do it. Soldering. Hang on, let's just unclip the camera. I've got the soldering iron there, and over there, solder station. You can set the temperature up to what you want. You can see there. I always have it running up at 400 degrees. So let's just clamp the camera back in. Oh, hang on, that's not clamped in. There we go. Right, now, the work. So, let's describe this very, very quickly. This is the first, well actually, no, let's back up. Right, so, our handrails go from, hang on, from here, all the way along here to here. Forget that end one, that's what I showed you. So if we were to measure that, say 3.5, put that on there and go up to there, 8 centimeters. Now, if you've got like multiple long lengths of brass wire, yeah, and you're comfortable with handling them, fine. If you wanted one length of brass wire, which is what I had left over, I've had to cut it. As you can see, I've gone just over. So the longer you can give yourself on the end, the safer you'll be. So what I've done, drawn 3 pencil lines, 1, 2, and the third one is just there, and they are at 90 degrees. I know it's hard to focus. So what I've done, we're going to solder this one up. We're not interested in this one at all. All the purpose of this one is keep these 2 wires here, these 2 rails parallel. That's all it's to do. This one, when I come to hit the iron in it, I will use this line to have it 90. That means I'm at 90 here. We're only interested in this joint. That's all we're interested in at the moment. So let's get that in the center of the camera. Needle file. Yeah, I'm going to get shouted at. Tiny little bit of flux. You can just about, you can see it about there. Little needle file. If you use a needle file, as you put it in, go forward and backwards, guess what it does? Scratches the surface. Means it's cleaner. So we got those nice and set. Now, I will only use that one for the flux. I won't use that one for the solder, unless I forget. This little dentive pick, you could use another little needle file. When I say you get a little bit of this solder paste, I mean a little. Now, I'm going to take my time on this bit, because this, I don't know if you can see it on the end there. Now, I'll tell you what I'll do. Let's put that ruler on there, and let's try and get this all in focus. So I'll turn it over. See how little it is. It really is little. And I already think that's too much. So chances are I won't use all of that. Put that on there. And just put it in the joint. So Do one at a time. Don't bother. You can put flux on both, but don't bother with the solder paste too much. I'll come on to it why later. You've got it in there. So what we're going to do, that is actually way too much. Take half of that off. I've done handrails for a while. So you can see it's all in there. So, get your soldering iron. Oh. Don't try and untangle your lead when it's hot, because it's not the best idea. I should have done that before I switched it on. Anyway, make sure you've got, oh God, hang on. Give me a second, hang on. I'm going to end up with holes in the side of Finjet. Right, so clean your tip, nice clean tip. If you want to get another file, you can just, use it just to steady it, yeah? Go in. 1, 2, 3. And she curled. 1, 2, 3. There you go. Literally, that's it. We now just try and focus on that joint. There you go. Now, I know if you're looking down in the bottom there, you're seeing in that corner there, you're seeing that. That's just a grey on the wood. So we're going to get this next one done, and then we'll take it out and have a detailed look at it. So bear with me a second. Tab of flux. I've still got a bit of that solder left on there. I reckon I've got enough. Now this first joint, no, there's not quite enough on there. It needs to be strong as an ox. If it's not, it comes undone. It's not going to be the end of the world, but it's one of those things. Oh God, this stuff gone off. Right, that's on there. You could use this to hold it. Yeah, it's slightly crooked. If it comes crooked, you can just be aware where the tip of your soldering iron is. Just use the pliers. Nice pair of flat pliers. I've just did it. And yeah, that's good. So that's a good job. So take a tape off, and if we're lucky, now it is going to be very fragile here, but as you can see, there you go. You can see it's got penetration through there, and if we hold that one back, and I just try and show you that, you can see it's nice and good. And I mean, we're going to have a bit of cleanup, and we'll talk about that later, but we got minimal because we've used minimal amounts of solder. And that's why I said we don't use that, because I can guarantee you one thing, you're going to be cursing yourself. Now, get your little sanctions, pop them down. I would, now, because we go up to the bend, yeah, we go up to the bend, and there was 4 to the bend. I wouldn't bother putting the others on yet, because they're going to be floating around in the wind, and you betting your bottom dollar they're going to come off. So you've got them on there. Couple of tips here. Been there, done that. First of all, make sure they're all the right way round. Yeah, you don't want one halfway round when it's on the deck. Second, make sure now generally when they make them, you can see they're all in lines. But sometimes what can happen, computer goes wrong or something, and one of those is up or down. So when you try and put that handrail through there, that would be going with a bow. Excuse me. Ditch it. Just put it in the bin. Get another one. Okay. Check they're all good. They're level. You're happy. Right. So, what we're going to do, we're going to pop them on like this. And this is going to be really, I know you're going to be shouting at me, John, you didn't get this in shot, you didn't do this. this is difficult. I have to work this way. And now, remember earlier where we talked about the drill in a previous video, and I went for a 0.5 with a 0.62 hole, and some of you be going, oh, well, why don't you use a 0.62 hole? Well, with a 0.5 hole, as you can see, I can do this. That's not glued in, that's just there. This is where it falls out on camera. So already you can see straight away we've got that. So yeah, let's just get a slightly different pair of pliers. I'm going to go for those. Just going to bring these into frame, just a pair of cheapy old pliers. What you want to do is, all I'm doing is I'm trying to make sure the handrail is at 90 to the post. So that one is twisted over. I only like to work on the one I'm working with, because as I move it, yeah, as I move that, the rest of those could come affected. So very quickly, a little bit of solder, sorry, flux. Now we will only concentrate on the top handrail for a moment, and there is a very, very specific reason for that. Let's get a little bit of paste. There we go, right. Now, let's just set that up. Now, all I'm going to do is I'm going to use this and I'm going to eyeball it. I want to make sure that top one, yeah, just keep on looking at it, eyeballing it. It's fine. If you wanted to hold it, once again, you can just put a bit of pressure. Come in. 1, 2, 3. It's done. Have a quick check. Yeah, that looks beautiful. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to bang this top row out, and then I'll bring it up to camera, and then we'll have a talk. So, quick check, we're at 90. Don't worry too much about this movement at the moment. A little bit of flux. Yeah. This is the problem you find is, if you're like me, they're trying to find your tools. Right, a little bit too much on there. Take a bit off. Trust me, you only want to go for the minimum. Yeah, she needs that tiny tap that way. Oh, a little bit too much. Cooked it. And sometimes, now, if you get that and you've gone over, and sometimes you move your flux, your solder paste too much, just tap it a bit. You know, if it's too far down the line, all you're going to do is put solder onto the handrail and not onto the joint. Okay, so, you know, just, once again, you just need to think about these things. Right, my fingers are like asbestos, so, and that's taken. And then let's get that last one. Now, this last one was quite twisted. Now, because there's a corner one here, we could do that and go over. Or what we could do, because these are nice and easy, put it at 45 here. That's about 45. And then when we go round, we can have a nicer thing. Now, ideally, if you were doing a corner post, what you've got to think is that wire is going to go along and then it's going to bend. That meant that post should have been in a bit further from the rest, so they should have all been back. So it shouldn't have been there. Obviously, look at your drawings, you know, see how they're set out. But it's just things to think about. You know, it's, had I bent that now, had I put that at straight and bent it, my wire would not be intercepting those hold lines, because that's that. Now, by putting it at 45, I can tighten that in a little bit more. So we'll just tap her up. It is quite important at this stage to check they're all looking okay. Just clean your soldering iron every so now and then. Make sure it's clean. You don't want tons of flux solder on it. Yeah, we got a joint there. So, slightly bent on that one. Get that. Let's have a look at that one, see what we can do. Sometimes you just give these a quick check. They do bend easily. Yeah, so overall, as you can see, quite pleased with that. So, the reason we do the top one, it's like anything. If you imagine this is your post here, you've got the most amount of movement. So by doing that and doing that one, you got that one there. If you're doing this one and you're holding it there, well, now let's use this. So that's your brass post. But that's in your deck, and that's your top handrail. Sorry, that's your top handrail. Keep forgetting, you might not see this in the video. If you were to do the middle one, still get a wee bit of wobble. But you do the top one, you know, it's pretty secure. So, you know, just the way I find it. So what we're going to do with these, now they're all insecure, they're going nowhere. We're doing this. Now, if this was a 3-post handrail, right, we will go bottom, middle, bottom. And the reason is that if we went middle, bottom, we're going to put heat into this post, and we're going to put heat more into this post. We run a danger of doing it. So by going a zigzag, we hit it, it's cooling. We hit it, it's cooling. We hit it, it's cooling. Then when we do the next one, it's already cold, we're hitting it again. So we're giving it a big cooling period between, but it's allowing us to work. If we were going vertical, we're hitting it, and then we're hitting it again. So the heat's not had a chance to get out. You could melt your plastic deck. If you've got a wooden deck, happy days. Happy days. But I don't like working with wood. It's harder to get a better finish. I know that will upset some people, but, you know, it's just what I found over the years. I found plastic hard to be a lot more forgiving. But everybody to themselves. I have seen beautiful wooden models, and I'm in awe how they can get a good paint finish on them. I really, really am. Right, so I'll have a quick look at that one before we hit it out. So you can see there, 1, 2, 3 joints, all ready to go. Remember, if you don't put enough on, you can always go back, yeah? So, got our soldering iron. 1, 2, 3. Didn't quite get that one. There you go. When you're getting near the bottom, if you want to, wet your fingers. 1, 2, 3, touch. It's up to you. Should be okay. There's not a lot, because you're only just tapping it. You're not putting no real heat into this thing. Yeah, let's have a look at that. Right. Now, you can see here, just there, I've got a bit of a solder bubble. Now, I can clean that up later, or what I can do is to get my soldering iron, just literally all I did is tap it, run it down. So literally just, you've got a bit of a bubble here. Yeah, that's got that one. Make sure you just give it a quick wipe each time. Yeah, just, all you're doing is just flicking off the excess. Yeah, that's good. Right. This is, ooh. Now, that's interesting. Don't know if you can see that. That joint at the top didn't take. It does happen sometimes. So give them a quick check, and this is quite important. Yeah, and that bottom one's not looking the best. So what I'm going to do, rather than put more solder into it, it's got quite a bit of solder, a little bit of flux. You do get that sometimes, unfortunately. It does happen, you know. And oh, let's have a little look at that one. Yeah, and that bottom one wasn't looking too rosy on this side. That's what I said, is just take your time, inspect them, have a little look. Let's have a look. So what you can do is just go along each one like this. That's all I'm doing, just pinging them. There, good. Now this next bit is a little bit tricky. And if I can't get the perfect camera angle, I do apologise. What you're going to try and do, you've got to get this vertical to this. Support this. Now I'm going to have to do it this way because that. So just literally in a twisting motion, go 1, 2, 3. I then sometimes come out just a fraction so that this edge of the plier isn't going to go smack. And just all I've done, as you can see now, I'm losing it. It's come out a little bit. Don't worry about it if it's coming all a bit Pete Tong, but there we go, right. Now, you'll end up with that. Yeah, one handrail, one's gone there. Just go on that bent bit. Wee little twist. Up you go over the spring and whatever. That top one's come out a little bit. Bottom one needs to ease in a bit. It's going to be... that bottom one's going to be... Right, I've gone over. Bring it back. Twist it up. Take your time on this bit. Is that... oh, I've broken that solder joint. Not worried about that at the moment. I can deal with that later. Right. Those handrails are good. So, this is why I said earlier, don't bother. Let's check we are still running it. Don't bother putting the... what's we call it? The posts on. If you had a lot of them, you could put the posts on, and what you could have done is put a bit of tape over the end to stop them falling off, because there's absolutely nothing to stop them falling off. That's the neighbour's dog you can hear barking, and you most probably hear my little boy start up in a minute. They love talking to each other. Right. Sorry if this is going off camera. I do apologise, but I'm trying my hardest here. Right, so we've got 3 handrails on there. We're going to drop them in 1, 2, 3 posts. That one was just to show you. So come along, flick them along. Yeah, sometimes a whole lot will come up and you just end up getting it right. Tis was, but bear with me a minute. When you squeeze them in with a pair of pliers to push them in, really do hold them at the base. Don't hold them anywhere off the... you know, I'll show you. Hang on, let me talk about this. I'm grabbing them about there. Yeah, literally there. If I grab them there, I must really bend that metal if it's tight. So bear that in mind. Right, okay. There's the handrail. I know it curves in a bit that way. We can deal with that later. I'll show you some tricks. Overall, it's looking good. It's looking good. So we'll quickly go. I don't want this video to go on for hours and hours. I'm just going to put some flux on all of these. I'm just going to level them off. I will have to check them before I go. Let's just get some of that paste. Right, tap him. Right, let's get him level round and in, and he's looking good. Yeah, that's good, nice and strong. Right, I've got to come back to that one, but I'll deal with him in a minute. And next one. Yeah, oh God, that one was on the money. Way hey. Right, that's done. Next one. And trust me, by the time you've done a boat like Celestine, you'll start thinking, you know what, one advantage of Finjet, she had very little handrails. But the other disadvantage she has, she's got lots of windows. So there you go. You can have bulwark, I think that's what they call it down the side, and loads of windows, or you can have a cargo ship, you know, no windows, but absolutely loads and loads and loads of handrail. So I'll leave the choice to you. Once I've done the windows on Finjet, I will let you know what is the less evil, handrails or windows. At the moment, I haven't decided. Right, oh God, that tip's wearing out. Now you could, if you wanted to, run your iron a bit colder, maybe 350. Running them hot does take the tips out, but my view is tips are cheap. I like to get in and out was the soldering iron. So I like the power, you know, literally just slam it in, hit, and you're out. I don't want to be waiting around. You know, now in little jobs like this, yeah, little iron's fine. You could drop the heat down a bit, wouldn't make that much of a difference. But if you're doing any substantial work, you really do need quite a powerful iron that you can slam some power in, because the last thing you want to be doing is sat there just you know, waiting for the job to heat up. So literally going to start that way. Now, because that's an end one, we need to pay a little bit more attention to it. So we will come back and we will give it a really good examination. I'm just going to hit these two again. Now, before I do that one, give her a second, feel the wire. Yeah, that's it. Now that end one didn't really take that well. So what I'll do, I'll hit her this way. There's a reason I go on the other side, is just that I've already got a bit of solder on that side. If I put it on both sides, it will pull through. Top joint will pull through nice. So just going to hit that one up. Is she? Yeah, she's pulled through. Let's have a quick look. Tiny bit of solder splatter there. We've got that one. That one could do with a little tiny bit off, and that's a little bit off. So let's have a quick look. It's on deck, as you can see. We can take it off now. Now, you know when I said earlier it was a little bit out, which it is. What we can do is give her just a little tweak. So just have a look at it that way and that way. Let's have a look. Yeah, not too bad. So in the next video, we're going to clean this up.